Alright, let's just do the next part of Thor. This is issue 477, and I want to immediately correct something I said in the first issue of this story. I pondered if I had this entire run on Thor, and I didn't. I definitely didn't. I cannot believe I even thought that. I only have one issue of the story that came before this one, and after this, I have only the Laura the Enchanter one. There is it is a short run, but it is about 15 issues long, and I have 4 or 5 maybe. Not even close. This is by Roger Thomas, and sometimes I want to ignore credits when it is a second part of a story, because I assume anyone watching a video on Thor issue 477 probably also watched a video on Thor issue 476. But there is a slight change here. We have a fill-in artist, Staz Johnson, and I will be outright honest with you. The art is a lot more consistent than it was with MCYI Man last issue. Also, Thor, he needs 90s Thor's help, which is utterly hilarious. Quick recap: Destroyer Droid, he beat Thor up. Destroyer Droid's claims of Thor's death at the end of last issue are not even acknowledged here. So we have the God of Thunder needing saving from the God of Blunder. And this panel up here is classic 90s Thor. I joke on the guy, but I kinda love him. I think this channel is on the edge of falling into a 90s Thor abyss. I have that Kazar issue out to review next, and there was a footnote on the page before that made me want to review an issue of 90s Thor. I like a few things about this issue. It is great to see Thor team up with 90s Thor. They didn't team up anywhere near as much as I would like. It is also a guest appearance, so 90s Thor is actually written as being somewhat useful. And the other thing is that it is Thor and 90s Thor versus Destroyer Droid. I am very into this as a comic book. I wish Thor was better dressed for the occasion, but there are comics with much less Ganon for them that I have read. You might be thinking that so far this is a surprise hit with me. But here we have the God Pack. The terrible new characters. Just bad. The sort I hate the most. Characters that the writer thinks you should automatically be interested in. I cannot think of anything more appropriate to critique them than to announce that I didn't bother reading these 2 pages. I've read it before, obviously, but this time I just skipped them. Of the God Pack, this one is the most like a real character. She has an awful name, Blitziana. The rest of them, You didn't even need to worry about remembering the names. It bothers me so much when you've got a book like Thor, a series with a long history, and an already enormous roster of characters to draw from, and 400 issues in, we have Roger Thomas introducing this team of crummy new characters and asking you to care about them, but at the same time offering no reason to care about them. I find the team-up elements in this charming. I like seeing these two characters together. After spinning 90s Thor off into his own thing, I think it is forever a missed opportunity that we didn't get to see the two of them side by side that much. It is a fun dynamic. This bit with the kid being smarter than all the parents is painful though. And the pain continues onto the next set of pages, because here is Anthony Hopkins being a knobhead again. He has decided to replace Thor with the ginger nut from the Roger Thomas Thor comics from the 70s. I said this in a comment on the last video, but Ron Marsgirl and Warren Fallis, whose runs on Thor sandwich this one, they both separately have said that one of the editorial demands on Thor at the time was that Marvel wanted Anthony Hopkins to basically be an antagonist, because they felt Thor rebelling against his dad was one of the book's core themes. If you removed the pages concerning the subplots in Fairyland and with the God Pack, this would be a much more enjoyable comic. The fighting is solid, and I have got no real gripes with the artwork. 90s Thor, he isn't pushed at the expense of Thor. It is clear throughout this that it is Thor's show, and 90s Thor is the guest star. The ending of it is a real disappointment, because it involves Donnie Wahlblake. We have the abhorrent retcons and revelations with Donnie Wahlblake forming the resolution as well as the why of this story. Let's say you are the biggest fan of Donnie Wahlblake or that art setup for Thor. I didn't know what you meant to like about Roger Thomas coming along and saying that the Donnie Wahlblake you have read about isn't really Donnie Wahlblake, and the real Donnie Wahlblake was just some tool we have never really met before. When The Simpsons did it, everyone pointed to that episode as the beginning of the downfall of the show. So, was this the day Thor died? Somehow no. I haven't really read any Thor runs since the early noughties, but I think they did the same shit all over again, with Donnie Wahlblake being a separate thing from Thor, and I think he became a bad guy. So what do you want next? An issue of 90s Thor, or that issue of Kazar continuing the story with 90s Thor. Much like the first part, there's stuff in there I can enjoy. It is competing with some real dross, and it is almost not worth reading because of everything else. There is maybe 11 pages in here that I would recommend. 7 thumbs up for that.